Drum Corps will absolutely build a 40-foot prop, but making a ramp for a wheelchair? Oh, now that's too hard.
Inclusion shouldn't just be a photo op for the brochure.
This is the Marching Revolution podcast.
Boots on the ground with a thunderous beat. Hearts in sync, our purpose complete. Map of the future drawn by our stride. Through the struggle we walk unified. Marching forward where no chains
Welcome
can
back to the
hold.
Marching Revolution. I'm Edward Michael Francis.
And I'm also Edward Michael Francis, which means one of us is the respectable voice, and one of us is your gay id in full riot gear. We'll let you guess who's who.
Quite right. Today's episode wraps up our three-part series with the article Uniformly Unequal, Gender Dynamics in North American Drum and Bugle Corps, Part 3 of 3, Breaking Barriers, Disability Access, and the Future of Inclusion.
More a breath buster than a title, really.
Right again, and the piece is by...
Wait for it.
You guessed it, Edward Michael Francis.
Yay!
You can read the full article over on our Patreon and check out our brand new website. More on that later.
We also proudly use generative AI in many aspects of this production.
Correct.
Because when you're trying to dismantle an elitist, gate-kept art form while doing the work of 10 people, you take the tools that Dark Lord gives you and you make them work for the revolution.
Speaking of revolution, Myron Rosander Francis, our orange and white comrade in arms, is currently occupying the windowsill in an act of strategic surveillance against the squirrels. They are always ready to wave that tail like a victory flag.
May we all be as relentless as Myron in the fight for inclusion.
Right on, girl.
Cue the sting.
In the final installment of our series on gender dynamics in drum corps, we're turning to a form of inclusion that's still almost invisible.
Yeah?
Disability access.
Right. We've covered the fight for women to be integrated into horn and drum lines, but this is a whole other revolution waiting in the wings.
Quite right.
One that could totally change who gets to march under those Saturday night lights.
Exactly. Drum corps has always been about pushing human performance to its peak.
But whose peak are we talking about? Like, what happens when we expand that definition?
Good question.
What if peak performance isn't about uniform physical ability, but celebrating all forms of human diversity?
That's the question. And honestly, drum corps was built for the able-bodied.
Amen.
It grew out of military traditions that prized uniformity and physical prowess.
So there was kind of this unspoken rule, if you didn't have full physical mobility, you were automatically out?
Yeah.
Huh.
And that wasn't even debated. It wasn't malicious, it was just structural blindness.
Oof.
The demands seemed to make it obvious. Grueling rehearsals, high-speed drill, full summer tours. If someone got injured, they were benched, not accommodated.
But there were exceptions, right? I remember hearing about someone.
David Connolly marched Dutch Boy in the 80s as a double amputee.
Wow.
2 prosthetic legs spinning in the guard.
The guard?
Later, became the first amputee to perform on Broadway.
That's huge. And yet, his story didn't spark any kind of systemic change?
Nope, he was an exception. Meanwhile, there are a lot of members managing invisible conditions. Autism, ADHD, anxiety.
And some actually thrive in the core environment because of the structure, right?
Yeah. One forum poster put it perfectly. In some ways, drum corps is a great activity for those on the autistic spectrum.
Agreed.
There is a lot of structure and predictability.
Yep.
That was from Quiet City on Drum Corps Planet from May 25th, 2014.
But when it comes to visible disabilities, or anyone needing real accommodations,
Nada.
the road is still unclear.
So, where does DCI actually stand today on disability inclusion?
Well, they do have language in their community code of conduct.
Okay.
Stuff about not discriminating based on, quote, disability or physical ability.
Good start.
And it flat out says harassment of disabled individuals is strictly prohibited.
Well, that's good, but it's basically passive inclusion. Like, we won't actively push you out, not we've built a clear path for you to be here.
Exactly. And if you look at their big diversity push, the In Step program, it's focused on women, people of color, and LGBTQ plus folks, which is great.
But noticeably missing from that list?
People with disabilities, and as of August 2025, disability inclusion hasn't been a public priority for them.
So if you need something like a modified rehearsal schedule or adaptive equipment,
There's no roadmap, no set process. Again, the message is, we won't discriminate against you, but we're not set up to help you either.
compare that to WinterGuard International.
Right.
WGI's rulebook clearly states that motorized wheelchairs are allowed for disabled participants. It's right there in writing.
Or Music for All's work with United Sound.
Correct.
They do peer mentoring so students with intellectual disabilities can join band programs.
Right. And in 2022, United Sound students marched in the Rose Parade with the BOA Honor Band.
Nice.
That's not just inclusion, that's front of the parade inclusion.
Meanwhile, DCI has no equivalent. No adaptive core division, no mention of assistive devices in the contest rules, no universal standards for accommodations.
So if a core is accommodating, it's because they choose to be.
Quite right.
Not because DCI requires it. Now, even with all those structural barriers, some people, and even whole groups, have still managed to break through.
Yeah, the biggest example? The Free Players Drum and Bugle Corps from Long Island, New York.
Yes!
Founded in 2010 for adults with developmental disabilities, they started with parades, but their big dream was DCI World Championships.
And they did it in 2018. 65 members, all with intellectual or developmental disabilities, performing exhibition shows at both prelims and semifinals.
Lucas Oil Stadium went nuts. Standing ovations,
Wow.
chants of free players, free players. It was one of those moments where you think, why isn't this a normal part of the activity?
Their director, Brian Calhoun, summed it up perfectly. We want to break down barriers and show that anyone can communicate through the universal language of music,
Truth.
regardless of your ability or disability.
And they didn't stop there. In 2019, they performed at DCA Championships with a show literally called Boundless. I mean, subtle, right?
There are individual wins too, like the Music City member in 2021 who only had 5% vision.
Yep.
The battery section helped orient him, and he learned drill sets through touch and muscle memory.
Or the 2019 Blue Devils and United Sound collaboration.
Talk to me.
BD members in full uniform performing alongside United Sound students.
As they should.
Those pictures are pure joy.
And it all proves something.
What's that?
The real barrier isn't the performer's ability, it's whether the activity is willing to adapt. Here's the thing. The models for inclusion already exist.
Indeed.
DCI doesn't have to reinvent the wheel, or the wheelchair ramp in this case.
Right. High school marching bands do this all the time.
They do.
Peer mentors, modified drill, creative staging.
Uh-huh.
You might have a wheelchair user featured in a stationary moment.
Boom.
Or a student with limited mobility anchoring the front ensemble.
And the smart show designers, they bake those accommodations into the concept from day one.
Bingo.
It's not an awkward, we'll figure it out later situation.
Once again, WGI leads the way. They've got rule adaptations, yes, but they've also had groups like Amp Winterguard competing in Independent World with members who have Down syndrome.
And Free Players percussion at WGI? Standing ovations while competing directly against, quote, typical ensembles.
Ugh.
The judges judge them on what they did, not what they couldn't do.
It's not just there either.
Oh?
The Inspiration Drum and Bugle Corps in Northern England works with kids with autism, ADHD, and Down syndrome.
That one started because the founder's autistic son found focus and belonging through drumming.
Awesome.
After being shut out elsewhere.
Which just proves the point. Music already transcends disability.
Precisely.
You just have to adapt the space to let it happen.
And we'll be right back.
The rhythm of hope, it pounds in our chest. We won't stop until we've done our best. The world is ours to turn to flame, and from it we'll forge a brand new name. The brand new name will forge a brand new
Welcome back. Now, if DCI really wants to live up to its whole life-enriching benefits mission statement.
Yeah?
It's time to move from passive inclusion to active welcome.
And just to be clear, that doesn't mean lowering the bar.
Exactly. It means raising the creativity bar,
No lies.
finding new ways for people to achieve excellence.
So, what does that look like in practice?
For starters, make disability inclusion an actual pillar of DEI work.
Of course.
Expand InStep's mandate or create a dedicated committee.
Why not?
And let's have some basic rule updates. Allow mobility devices without penalty. Make sure medical equipment is okay under uniform
And
guidelines.
that's not hard stuff. Honestly, it's just writing down the yes instead of making people guess if they're allowed.
Right. And sound sport? Hello.
Girl.
That's the perfect incubator for inclusive ensembles. It's already got a flexible format.
Open Class Core could pilot adaptive programs too.
Yes, they could.
Test the ideas, prove they work,
Tell it.
scale them up.
And here's the most important part. We stop treating disabled performers like special guests and start treating them like what they are.
Slow clap.
Drum corps members.
Because culture shifts when people see representation.
Say it again.
A legally blind drummer locking into formation? That's as jaw-dropping as a picture-perfect drum
And a
line.
paraplegic performer nailing gorgeous flag work can bring a stadium to its feet just as fast as any high-velocity rifle toss. Well, 3 parts later, here we are.
Right here.
We started this whole thing with the all-woman corps staking their claim in a male-dominated world.
Then we dove headfirst into the messy middle. Modern co-ed cores, broships, social hierarchies, and all the ways equality still feels like an unfinished project.
Now we've landed at what might be the final frontier of inclusion.
Oh yeah?
Disability access.
And it's the same pattern every time.
Same.
Marginalized groups create their own spaces when the mainstream shuts them out, until the mainstream finally catches up.
All-woman corps proved women could dominate any section.
Divas.
Pioneers like Giselle Cadu and Nicole Casino shattered co-ed barriers. Now, the free players and others are proving loudly that disability is not a deal breaker for excellence.
And here's the thing. It's not charity. It's about the fact that their skills, their perspectives make the entire activity better.
Exactly. Drum corps has never been just scores and shows. It's life lessons, family, figuring out what you can really do when you're pushed to the edge.
And those edges look different for everybody.
Right. So the real question is, are we willing to expand our definition of excellence to include all forms of human achievement?
As Brian Calhoun put it, we have to show that anyone can communicate through music, no matter your ability or disability.
And I think the stands are ready to cheer for everyone. If you've been marching along with us for this whole series, now's the perfect time to join the revolution, literally, over at patreon.com/Cinemarch Media.
And while you're there, don't forget to check out our other stomping grounds at cinemarchmedia.com. Home base for both the Marching Revolution and Marxists at the Movies.
Our $6 tier gets you early access to articles and breaking news.
And if you upgrade to $10, you'll get all that, plus early audio drops, bonus episodes, and of course, both tiers enjoy the occasional surprise cameo from Myra the Cat.
Who, for the record, is very pro-revolution, especially if it means more treats.
Yeah, their platform is basically equal rights, equal snuggles.
Join us, support the work, and help keep the revolution marching, one paw at a time. In 2000, the cadets, back when they were still around,
Right.
took the field with We Are the Future.
Classic.
It was a world championship show that started at birth, charted a journey of growth, and ended with the performers becoming the cadets we saw before us, a living embodiment of the dream fulfilled.
And in a way, this whole 3-part series has done the same thing.
How so?
We started with the hard history, gender barriers, the absence of clear pathways for disabled performers, and a culture that kept the same people at the top while locking others out.
Then we moved through the stories of people who refused to disappear.
Quite right.
Members, staff, and advocates who kept showing up even when the activity made it clear they were supposed to stay on the sideline.
Just like that cadets show, this isn't about instant transformation.
Nope.
It's about becoming.
Yup.
Choosing to move towards inclusion on purpose.
Because, as someone once said, inclusion isn't charity, and accessibility isn't some optional upgrade.
Preach.
Both are the lifeblood of an art form that continues to inspire and unite.
We're not the future just because the calendar moves forward.
Exactly.
We're the future when policies change, when leadership diversifies, when disabled performers get accommodations without having to beg for them,
And when no one's gender dictates their place on the field.
so much. If the marching arts can carry its history forward while shedding the prejudices and structural barriers that weigh it down, then, like those cadets in 2000, we step onto the field not as relics of what was,
but as living proof of what's possible.
from gender equality to disability access, every step we take rewrites the drill.
We're not just marching into the future.
We're building it. Stay woke, comrades.
Okay, what did we learn today?
That drum corps will absolutely build a 40-foot prop, but making a ramp for a wheelchair? Oh, now that's too hard.
That inclusion shouldn't just be a photo op for the brochure.
That free players are cooler than half the corps on the field. And I will not be taking questions.
And that boundless isn't just a show title. It's what the activity could be if it really tried.
Okay, but seriously, what we're talking about isn't just policy tweaks or warm fuzzy moments.
Not even close.
It's about reimagining what excellence looks like so everyone who wants to march has the chance to do it.
Because the field should be big enough for everyone.
Totally.
Literally and figuratively.
If you want to keep these conversations going, you can support us at patreon.com/Cinemarchmedia or visit www.cinemarchmedia.com.
This has been the Marching Revolution.
Bye!
Boots on the ground.
Thank you for listening to the Marching Revolution podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Through the struggle, we walk unified. Marching forward where no chains can hold. Hands in the dirt, we carve out gold. From the ashes, we rise, we sing. For the power of the people is everything. Flags that wave like the dawn's first light, guiding us through the endless night. Every step shakes the earth awake. Our voices roar for justice's sake. Marching forward where no chains can hold. Hands in the dirt, we carve out gold. From the ashes we rise, we sing. For the power of the people is everything. The rhythm of hope, it pounds in our chest. We won't stop until we've done our best. The world is ours to turn to flame, and from it we'll forge a brand new name. Yeah! Grasp the future, the wheels won't stall. Shoulder to shoulder, we answer the call. Brick by brick, through sweat and strive. In unity, together we thrive.
Copyright 2025, Cinemarch Media.